एवरीवन एंड वेलकम बैक। तो इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे लाइफ साइकिल हुक। आई थिंक लाइफ साइकिल हुक यू माइट हैव हर्ड दिस टर्म इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ रिएक्ट, एंगुलर. Every framework has some kind of a life cycle hooks which talks about initialization, update phase, and then destroy phase. And the importance of life cycle phase is so that we can hook our code appropriately. When you are initializing, okay, initialize the resources. When you are destroying, then release the resources. That's the real importance. Like Angular lifecycle hook also does the same thing. NestJS also has the same set of the names are different but doing the same thing, initializing the resources. And when you are creating the lifecycle hook like onModuleInit and onModuleDestroy, or when you are doing shutdown the application using control C, or there is a application shutdown using some external issues, then we have to release the resources. So what are the lifecycle hook? This is important. So we can divide it into three segments: app bootstrap, onModuleInit, onModuleBootstrap, and then onModuleDestroy, before application shutdown, onApplication shutdown, process exit. You might be thinking, where should we write these lifecycle hook methods, right? We can put that inside a controller, inside a services, or inside a module. You just need to implement appropriate interface and just put them inside your service or a module. If I want to do it, if you ask my choice, I use onModuleInit and onModuleDestroy at the service level. So I know, okay, I need to initialize the database connection on onModuleInit, in onModuleDestroy, release the resources. अब ये what is the concept of creating database connection in onModuleInit? Because onModuleInit के अंदर अगर आप database connection लिखोगे, because from till that point database application has not started, it is waiting. So you can actually do the database initialization or Kafka connection, RabbitMQ connection and all. After that, on module bootstrap, after that application start listening for HTTP event, request आना start हो जाती है. And when you shut down the application using app.close or using control C or through unhandled exception, it called before application shutdown. And then there is a on application shutdown. On application shutdown stops the listener. When the listener when your server stops listening the HTTP request, the application shutdown trigger hota hai. That is same as process.exit by node.js process exit ho chuka hai. You can understand the same here. Bootstrap start hua, NestJS core bootstrap hua. On module-init, you can define it inside a module or after module initialization. On module-init, on application bootstrap, for each module you can define this. On application bootstrap, then your application will start listening to the HTTP events from this moment onwards. Then termination signal receive. अब termination में आपका कुछ हो सकता है, control C हो गया या unhandled exception आ गया, तब on module destroy trigger होता है. This can be triggered for each module. अब ये जब भी होता है, so it will actually destroy the instance of services, instance of controllers, and before application shutdown for each module, and then it stops listening for HTTP events and then it calls on application shutdown. So actually जो real life में, if you talk about myself, I mostly have used onModuleInit and onModuleDestroy. Maybe if you want to just know कि when my application shutdown, I want to know some console message, I want to do some additional things, then you can use these onModuleDestroy or on application shutdown lifecycle hook. Because sometimes you wanted to log the message or do some additional processing before application goes shutdown. This is a slight glimpse of what all these things are doing on module-init, on module-destroy. So this is how you will register it. आपको implement करना पड़ेगा on module-init interface. फिर आप on module-init method define कर दो inside a service. Okay, this is asynchronous initialization. You can also make it async await. And for this, when you terminate the application, you have these 3-4 different methods, right? You can use those methods only after enabling the shutdown hook. So app.enable shutdown hook, so that your application will start responding to all these termination events like on module destroy, before application shutdown, on application shutdown. You need to explicitly tell NestJS ki I'm interested in listening these events because I want to do something else. तो आप app.enable shutdown hook कर दो and you will start listening to these events. So let's say you start the bootstrap the application and just right away do app.close. That is nothing but closing the application. So on module destroy, before shutdown, all these events will be triggered. Like on application shutdown, this method has one argument signal. So due to which signal this application is getting shut down, right? SIGINT, like you did control C, or then this particular signal will be sent to the process. Now the demo is simple. This kind of these methods we wanted to simulate in our code. तो हम क्या करेंगे, on module init implement कर दो services के अंदर, और at the module level you can implement on module destroy, on application bootstrap, before application shutdown, right? So here you can see I have this on module init, and inside on module init line 20 on application shutdown also you can register the methods whatever you want, right? So I'm using application shutdown, on module init method inside user service. Same you can actually use at another service. So whenever you start the application, you will see these messages coming. So this is another service. I will just import this on module init on application shutdown, and just doing some methods to see what is happening on the console. You can see on module init, module is initialized, and application shutdown. When you do control C, what happens is when you do control C, it actually sends the SIGINT signal, and your application will get shut down. On application shutdown, and before, these are the different events. So let's say I enable the app.close. App.close is doing nothing but it actually stops listening to the HTTP events. You start the application and you see it's actually sending a shutdown event, module initialized, and then service shutdown. So I will just share this snippet. You can just play with these different lifecycle hooks. You can implement all these different interface at a module level on application bootstrap, before application shutdown, on application shutdown, right? जब भी application bootstrap होगी, this method will get called. When application is getting shut down, then these different methods will get triggered in this example. I mean, ideally what I do is on application bootstrap, on application shutdown, before application shutdown, I use at a module level. Or the services there, mostly I define on module init and on module destroy. So a real world example हो सकता है like observable, you subscribe to an observable using on module init. On module destroy में आप उस observable को destroy करो, unsubscribe करो, right? You might be creating some connections or some resources which you can release in on module destroy. Okay, that's it about simple lifecycle hooks for the NestJS.